Fellow tennis nerds, long time no pro player racket update. I got some spots, so thanks to you who send them. And it's always interesting to see what pros are doing during the season. Some switches on and off. Some players are the usual suspects, and some are a little bit more unexpected. If we start with Borna Coric, he posted a video hitting with a speed instead of his usual Wilsons. He's been with a blackout Wilson. Then he was with a blackout head. He's been changing Wilson rackets for a while, and then went to some kind of speed. I think that's what he was testing also in the blackout. So it seems to be he's committing to head as a racket sponsor. No idea whether it's the Pro or the MP weight specs. Sometimes it's not even that particular model they're using. So it's always tricky with pro stocks. If you know anything, feel free to comment or reach out via Instagram or the contact us form on tennisnerd.net. Tsitsipas Stefanos is not done switching rackets, as you might have seen. He left the blacked out Aero 98, the racket he won Dubai with, went back to his old K-Blade 98-18-20, but now he's testing another blade racket in a 16-19 pattern. He has Goran Ivanisevic on the team. We'll see what that will do to his career and coming back to the top 10 if he can do that. Will be fascinating to follow. Sometimes the coaches have strong opinions around gear, sometimes they don't, and maybe his opinion will be like to stop switching around and focus on the game. I think that would be a good idea at this point. Personally, I believe that he should have stuck around with the Aero 98, but who knows, maybe things will change also in the future. So we'll see where he ends up. Talking about the Aero 98, it is a topic on the tour. A lot of pros are testing it because of Carlito's success and Holger Rune and, you know, Bublik obviously playing with a blacked out Aero 98, playing the season of his life, arguably getting to the French Open quarterfinals, beating Sinner in Halle, and now he's in the semis when I'm talking to you, playing really well. So there's some magic in the Aero 98, but it's not for everyone. I got some messages that maybe Khachanov is playing with the Aero 98. He's playing with a blacked out frame. Looks a bit more aerodynamic in the design, but it's not an Aero and not a Babolat. It's still a Wilson. If you look at the end cap and you look at the throat, you will see that it's not exactly the Aero 98. So in my guesstimation, this is some kind of prototype maybe Wilson is working on. And time will tell if we see more players with this or if it's just for Karen. I'm a bit surprised still here because he was an H22 Blade Pro user. And this is quite a step in another direction, right? But I think most players are curious about what this more aerodynamic, more powerful, a little bit more spin-oriented frame can do for their game, especially if you're coming from like a control-oriented 1820, like both Stefanos and Karen are doing. So fascinating to see these switches, and that racket is making waves, and people are obviously curious. I think a lot of pros have tried it because of the whispers, at least people I talk to on podcasts and so on. So a very fascinating move in the game, partly maybe due to the balls, partly due to just the game being more explosive and you needing more power these days. Coleman Wong has not switched to the Aero. He has switched to some new Ultra. Is it that Nishikori mold, the 98 square inch that I've only seen Nishikori use really? Or is it the Wilson Pro Open, which is pretty popular on the Pro Tour? Feliciano Lopez used that one, but there's also a bunch of other players using the Wilson Pro Open mold. I don't know, and I don't know the specifications, so if you do, please reach out so we can update that on tennisnerd.net and get it right. That's important. Roberto Bautista Agut has not changed rackets. I wanted to point out him today because he's doing really well, which I find nice. Partly because he plays with a favorite of mine, the Wilson 6195. He plays with the extended version, the XL 1820. Very demanding racket, but it's nice to see these demanding old school pro staffs and prestiges do well on the tour still. And it's not as common as it used to be, but at least there's some guys still sticking to these rackets and playing well with them. So well done to Bautista Agut now in the semis in Queens. But he's playing Alcaraz, so it'll be tough. Lehka, bit of a so-so season so far, but he's having a good run now in Queens. And he has switched, by the looks of it, from the Wilson 6195. Again, a classy player, plays a lot of, goes to the net a lot, which makes sense. That racket is just an amazing volley racket. But it seems like he has switched to the Wilson Tour 95, which is a slightly extended 27.25 inch long 1620. So if you count his strings, they are 1620 instead of his usual 1820. So getting maybe a little bit more lift on the ball, a bit more pop. I don't know whether he was playing an extended 6-1-95, but this one is a slightly extended frame, so it's not maybe going to affect his game that much. But of course, small margins for the pros is a big thing. So, but he's playing well right now. Jack Draper has not made a racket switch, but I wanted to mention him because I get some questions about his racket. It's a pretty rare one. It's the Dunlop Strixon CV 3.0. I think it's called Revo as well, F. These names can drive you crazy, but it's a Dunlop Strixon Revo CV 3.0 F. Not the Tour, because that's 97 square inch. He uses the 100 square inch, which is pretty much a bit of a pure drive clone. Plays well. I tried it with my buddy Adam, and it's a good stick. I play pretty well with it. Also, Adam said it was nice, but it's not something like wow, you know. It feels like a old school pure drive, not too dampened, not too stiff, just kind of in between. So works for his game. I've heard he has it weighted up to 320 grams on strung, which is pretty beefy, but suits his style, and plays Olo Power full bed. I got some other spots from Nestor Perez Gomez, so thank you, muchas gracias for that. And Andy Tan is always on the ball as well, especially with shoe changes. So I have some regulars who were helping me out spotting these gear changes, and I appreciate it. I just wanted to mention that. If I forget anyone, I'm sorry, but I really appreciate getting some intel around the tour from things you spot. So we have Yosuke Watanuki, Japanese player, switching to the Aero 98 from the pure drive. So he stays in the Babolat, not a huge switch, but yeah, we have another one going to the pure Aero. And I think it will be interesting to see what Babolat does to switch this one up to improve it, because it's so well liked. And when you have something that is working so well, do you have the guts to change it, to make it different, or would you just do like a small cosmetic update or a slight layup change? Well, time will tell, but I think they will do a little bit of a difference to the new Aero. And we have Tamara Korpacz on the WTA tour. She is a racket switcher. It's going from the V-Core to the Blade to the V-Core to the Aero now. I don't think it's still the Aero 100, but yeah, she stays in that 100 square inch racket zone. Yeah, that's it for today, really, with the gear spots. If you have anything that I haven't talked about and something you've spotted, let me know in the comments. It will be interesting to follow the Khachanov situation, Tsitsipas, Bublik, will he sign for Babolat? There are a lot of questions lingering around. I'm sure people will keep looking for power. I don't see many pros looking for more control. They don't need that. It's all about getting a bit more help to win the points, to finish the points, and deal with the balls, which most people complain about still. Make sure to check out Tennis Nerd 2, where we have lots of interesting coaching content now. We will publish more content around coaching and other stuff there, and not so much racket stuff, because that's what you'll find here on Tennis Nerd 1. And as always, lots of that as well on tennisnerd.net. Have a nice day now, and don't forget to play some tennis.